Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Red Zone stage, Goku's edition versus Universe 6. Now, the Red Zone events are getting pretty challenging. I think they're starting to introduce stages that can challenge, obviously, some of the units that they brought out this celebration. But one of the things that these events are really requiring is quite high levels of damage. The units have started to enter the realm of having half a billion health, quite high levels of damage reduction, defense is going up. So what this does is it starts to really push your demands for damage. It's not so much always about being defensively sound. Like, yes, obviously you would like a unit to be able to soak in a 4.5 million, attack super and things like that. But realistically, there are units that can do that, but realistically, you don't want to have to deal with this all the time. To fight these guys over 10, 11, 12 turns leaves you vulnerable to rotationary problems, because there's only one or two teams that have units that honestly can handle that level of heat for so long. There's always going to be the one or two units that you float or have in second slot who, if they don't do that extra super, or they don't do that extra damage, they're going to get hit. They're going to get hit and it's going to hurt for the amount of damage they take. So realistically, it is quite challenging. I will say, overall, that obviously the considerations you should have are mainly to do with damage. That's what I found works the best. Of course, that's just my theory on everything. Now, in terms of this stage, the Goku's Family 1, or Goku's Story Edition, I should say, it's 3 phases. Honestly, the first phase is not too bad. This actually is a great phase because it allows you to get your team up to speed. He's quite tanky. He allows you to set up your rotations. He nullifies super attacks, stunning and everything, but he allows you to really set yourself up. The next phase against Frost can stun you, and he likes to super in the first slot. But other than that, he also isn't too tough. Both of these phases together actually give you ample room to really set up your units and let them get into position, build up, etc. Then we take on Hit, and for Hit, in terms of like functionality, the big thing is that he's quite tanky, 560 million. He hits for 4.5. But the big thing is that he gets a big attack and defense boost on the third turn from his entry. So what I like to do is I like to try and save my items until I get to that third turn from his entry. He disables attack and defense down. He disables evasion as well, which is absolutely crucial. In terms of taking him on, I felt like the full power team did a great job. And the reason for this is because of 2 reasons. Firstly, obviously it allows us to utilize 3 really good situational tanking units. We have Beast Gohan, who is a good tank just in general. His taunt actually is very important because it allows us to skip one of those turns before he enters his third turn, without the need of having to use items. Next, we have the Vegeta, who will give us a revive at a certain point, provided we need it. And we have the Strength Gohan Kamehameha. And why he's so important is because, yes, obviously, his tanking abilities, even in the standby phase, actually aren't that great. Like, you could possibly die to a super if he gets hit by one. But with an item, tanks brilliantly, and also gives you an option. If you're in the position where you want to use his active skill to do a lot of damage, you can. You will see in the clip that I showed that I actually don't end up using his active skill, largely because I wanted to maintain the defensive security of his standby, and I sacrificed that extra damage to ensure that my second and third slot units were protected. And that is something that you can do quite nicely with Gohan. Obviously, getting his active off is preferential, it's huge damage, but you can just leave him and let him soak with that item on, and he can really tank it up for you. The floater's doing some really good work. Super Saiyan Goku building up. Eventually would have put him as a first slot tank if needed in an emergency. Vegeta floating to give his revive. Kaioken Goku floating to give some damage. And ultimately, the big winners, of course, the second slot Gohans. The physical second slot Gohans, absolutely huge damage, massive damage after their active skill. Very, very, very big levels of throughput. You're looking at 60 million, 58 million, 54 million, just huge attack stats. And you can see here, by the way, me leaving Gohan in his standby, but just massive, massive attack stats. Of course, beneficially, you would like, preferably, Gohan to get additionals, which means you're going to want to find one with a dupe. Additionals for Gohan is very crucial, because outside of his initial phases, he doesn't actually have a lot of additionals or anything built in. So you can very often get this very beefy first initial attack stat, which does huge damage, but then you can kind of lose quite a bit of damage afterwards comparative to other units. So what I would suggest is that you give him additionals, find a unit that can give him additional, find a friend unit, etc. However, Gohan is very, very impressive. Absolutely huge damage dealer. The active skill also helps us do massive damage as well. So realistically, between the two of them, obviously they shut down hit very quickly, but it's also because of the fact that you have the active skills, you have the type advantage, you have everything like that. Realistically, the unit is very, very strong, and just makes for a very good, solid damage dealer that kind of carried the team. And I thought that was something that worked really, really well. So for me, all in all, I thought full power did great. Obviously, whether it does just great against hit, I don't know. Very specific slot 1 rotations here though. So where people are going to be locking you in place and things like that, probably not the best. Because we are running a lot of second and third slot units. We're running double Gohans, those are pure second slot units. We're running Strength Kaiken Goku, that's a pure third slot unit. Even Strength Gohan, outside of his standby, not like a first slot or anything, a second and third slot unit. So we are running very set rotations. It works because we have the very strong offensive power to overwhelm the enemy and kind of give ourselves a very quick win. May not work for other bosses or other strategies, but yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I'll say, obviously, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're struggling with, or if you want a team build, or how you're finding the red zone. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, stay safe, and yeah, bye.